Chapter 28. So I established myself as the shepherd of Jethro's flock, a priest in the land of Midian, and who became my father-in-law through his daughter Zipporah. I discovered that the Midianites were descendants of Abraham by Keturah, the wife whom he married after Sarah died, and by whom Midian was born to him. Thus I took knowledge that the descendants of Abraham through their sons Ishmael and Midian were for a long time very similar peoples in their manner of worshipping the Elohim of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as are the Hebrews. And though Abraham commanded them to go into the east, far from the house of Isaac, before he died, he gave gifts to Midian, and ordained him to the high priesthood of Melchizedek. And this just as he did to the other sons he had with his wives, there being among the peoples that have derived of the seed from Abraham a covenant with Elohim through the priesthood of his only begotten son, who was to remain active in his offspring by promise, inasmuch as they were keepers of his commandments. It happened then, at the time when I, Moses, dwelt in a foreign land, that I received from the hands of my father-in-law Yethro, then a priest in the land of Midian, the holy priesthood of Melchizedek. This priesthood was passed down from generation to generation, from father to son, from the days of Abraham to his generation, being that Yethro was a righteous descendant of Abraham and a keeper of the commandments of Elohim among the nomadic people he led. Howbeit, the Midianite cities had already become corrupted and fallen into apostasy. However, when I came to know the priesthood powers with the elders of Midian, I realized that nothing was added to me, no gift, not even a spiritual realization beyond what my mind was capable of projecting. I realized then that it was necessary to seek knowledge directly at the source, that is, with the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or to die in my pursuit. For receiving the priesthood did not make me better than I already was. Many times during the day and sometimes at night, I would retreat in prayer in search of this Elohim, who did not even have a name. For from the days of my childhood, when I began to hear about him, I learned that it was not possible for the tongue of man to pronounce the name of God. And I said in myself, then to whom should I pray? How should I call upon someone whose name cannot be pronounced? It was then, in the course of these days of trouble, that Yahweh Elohim appeared to me, Moses, for he led the flock to the western side of the wilderness at the foot of Mount Horeb. And it came to pass that I heard a loud noise, like the sound of a thunderclap. And as soon as I turned to see where the sound came from, I saw a light cross the sky. But it was not a fallen star, for behold, she walked in a straight line and without speed. As she landed about me, a soft light descended from the sky, while that strong light who stood above me was gradually disappearing. Suddenly the light that came down, the presence of Yahweh remained in the rays of light, as if it were burning the bush that was before me, bringing separation between me and Yahweh. I perceived as if a fire were enveloping the bush, but behold, its leaves and branches did not burn as I beheld this spectacle. Then I began to turn and to approach the bush in front of me to see the cause of that supernatural event before mine eyes. It was then that a voice came out of the middle of the burning bush, and calling me by my name twice, consecutively ordered me that I not come near to inspect the place, but even the shoes of my feet were to be left behind, claiming that the ground on which I was treading was sacred. And as soon as he told me these words, He commanded me again that I should take off the sandals and kneel before the burning bush, because the presence of Elohim was before me. And Elohim spake unto me, saying, Behold, I am the Elohim of your father, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob your forefathers. And immediately I was filled with fear and trembling in the all of my being. And I cast my face to the ground, for I was afraid to look upon the face of God and to die, as the elders of Midian related unto me, that no man could see Elohim and still live. And Elohim said, Verily, I have seen the affliction of my people in the land of Egypt, and I heard their cry because of the oppression of those who forced them to work. For I know their pains, and for this reason I am coming down to deliver my people of the oppressive hand of Pharaoh, and lead them to a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanites, and of the Hittites, and of the Amorites, and of the Perizzites, and of Hivites, and of Jebusites. These are those tribes who have been corrupted in your progeny by Anakiel and his rebellious angels, before they were all thrown into prison, when they made a pact with Satan on Mount Hermon, just after the waters of the flood receded. For this cause I will exterminate the seed of the tribes that dwell in the land of your inheritance, and behold, thy people, Moses, shall return to Mount Zion, which is under the dominion of the Amorites, who were installed at the command of Satan, when they arrived in this land and found the pillar of the city of Enoch, which remained after the floods. In view thereof I will send you to Pharaoh, for the cry of my people has come to me, and I have seen the oppression which the Egyptians oppress my people Israel. Therefore I am sending thee before the face of Pharaoh, that you may deliver my people out of the bondage of Egypt. I asked Yahweh, what shall I say to the children of Israel if they ask me who sent me to free them? And what shall I say if they ask me his name? Then Elohim answered me, saying, I am that I am. And this is what you should say to the children of Israel, I am sent me to you. For I make known to you my name, which I did not reveal to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You therefore have knowledge that I am, the existence beyond any reason or cause. I am the one who fills all things, who dwells in light inaccessible to men in the flesh, whom no man has seen or can see, unless he is vivified in the spirit. Neither can the tongue of man utter my name. Therefore I am, and I am in you, and you are in me, through the feelings that emanate from my name. Behold, therefore, that I give beginning through you, to erect my assembly among my people Israel, for thou art a seer, having all the gifts that are conferred upon the head of the assembly. Therefore thou shalt be the voice of Elohim unto my people, for from thine own mouth I, Yahweh, will speak to them. And behold, I will give thee Aaron thy brother, the one that I am bringing for you, with some of the elders of the house of Israel, and Aaron will be your spokesman. Therefore he must be ordained a prophet before the elders of the house of Israel, inasmuch as he will speak these words of mine that will flow out of your mouth when you come to Egypt. And when my people Israel accept your call, then you will have an assembly to command beyond the Jordan, where I will give you a land flowing with milk and honey. Therefore I will give you commandments by which the people of the covenant will be governed, and all of them, I Yahweh, will baptize under a cloud, that all may enter into the covenants that I am making with all the nation of Israel in their wholeness. You therefore have a great challenge, to lead the people of Israel to live righteously according to my words after you leave Egypt. Then it came to pass that I, Moses, answered God, saying that the children of Israel would not believe in me, nor obey my voice, and mock me, because I tell them that Yahweh appeared to me, for they do not have much esteem for me. Then Yahweh told me that for this reason he was sending Aaron as my spokesman, for he is held in high esteem among the elders of the house of Israel, and among all the people of Jacob, and for this reason they will obey his voice. However, Yahweh transmuted my adverse feelings by righteous in the zeal of Yahweh into a snake, that he commanded me to form by throwing my rod to the ground. After that my body was filled with leprosy, so that Yahweh taught me that this is how the priesthood power of his Son works in mankind, and that according to my feelings I can control the physical elements of the earth, even with my own body. For all nature groans and also awaits the release of the sin to which Adam's error made it subjugated, because the earth itself and its elements were also cursed with the fall. But behold, since the elements are arranged by the gifts which are feelings derived from the name of Elohim in me, they are organized by the power of faith, which, through command of the word of Elohim, the worlds were created. And so all creation submits to the authority that is in the name of Elohim and of his only begotten Son, through the order of his priesthood, for the sake of his own deliverance.